There is so much to be talked about in life for women and kids. Truly, children are the future, and women are the holders of life that bear life, that have the ability to bring new life. And women are the most affected by mental health, and even men are affected by mental health. But we're talking about women. We're talking about women. And 36.7% of women have experienced depression, reported by Gallup. 89%, 90% of people are unhappy with their life, or 86%. 86% of people are unhappy with their life, men and women. The stats on suicide caused by mental health are enormous. There's been it's 2 times the amount of deaths by suicide versus homicide in the United States. So this epidemic of mental health, and then also like with adults in like drug abuse, alcohol abuse, you know, all the things that can cause you to make poor decisions caused by mental health that just have such a deep root of why are people experiencing all of this stuff in our minds that cause us to go and do the thing that can cause us to do something that we can never take back, like taking our life. So, with that being said, I am excited to dig into this realm of conversation that is not being really talked about, and bring a light of there is no shame, there is no condemnation in what you're experiencing. If you're experiencing depression or these thoughts of suicide and the things that are trying to bring you down, the voices in your head that are telling you're not good enough. What I know is that there is an enemy out to kill, steal, and destroy every single human, because you are so powerful, because you are made in the image of God. Why are we not talking about your identity and who you are in your likeness of Christ, and an enemy that is so interested in taking you out because of your identity, but lying to you and making you believe that you are not as good as you actually are. You are made in the image of God Himself, the creator of the universe. God Himself, you're made in His image. You're amazing, you're powerful, you're anointed. But if you do not believe the truth of your identity, then you will be stuck in a lie that causes you to go down this rabbit hole of emotions that are very negative, unless you disrupt the toxic pattern with thinking about what you're thinking about, seeking out the truth. There's a group of people in the world that are truth seekers. There's a group of people in the world that are actually seekers of thriving, like you want better in your life. Are you that person? Clearly, you're watching this video for a purpose. And you might be doing research, you might have found it just because, but the lies that your trauma causes you, and the false identity that so many people live in, it's enough is enough. Enough is enough. And it's time to address the thing that's not being addressed, is that you're being lied to, period. Like, There is too much goodness in you for you not to know the truth. So, what I do know and believe is that circumstances are up to your perception. Whatever you perceive, you have the ability to decide what you do with it. So we can control what we can control. And when you're in a circumstance, if you could just imagine a circle and you're standing in the middle of that circle, the circle, the circumstance, right? The thing that you're dealing with is around you and you're in the middle of it. You have a decision to stand there in that circumstance. You stand in the circumstance. It's a circumstance, like you're standing. You have a decision to make. Am I going to stay in this, or am I just going to walk through and let the circumstance be behind me? And now that I'm not in the middle of the circumstance, I can have a new perception and I can look back at it and I can go, okay, what do we do with this? Is this something that I can control, or is it something that is completely out of my control, but I can respond, I can control the way I respond to it, right? So what am I going to do? Am I going to let my emotions go erratic and am I going to freak out? Or am I going to have self-control and go, no, I'm going to regulate my emotions. I have no control over this. What is my part that I've played in this? And take care of that. Something that's very important that I believe and that we need to raise the standard on is forgiveness. Forgiveness to yourself, forgiveness to those who have wronged you in whatever situation. We have like a situation going on in my head. Forgiveness to yourself and whoever is involved in the situation or the circumstance. If the sooner that you can forgive and the sooner that you can have a positive expectancy of a positive outcome versus focusing on a negative outcome, you get what you focus on. Forgiving yourself, you can expect freedom. You can expect to just know that you're human. Like, it's fine. You're human. Let's like take care, like, depending on what has happened, right? We do have, there's actions, there's consequences, right? So depending on what the situation is, praying that it's nothing detrimental or, something that you can just go, you know what? I dropped the pen. I am not a bad person because I dropped the pen. I can pick the pen back up and put it where it goes and just do better next time, right? So depending on what the circumstance is, we don't want to like whatever that is. You can deal with it accordingly, but there are consequences to certain things. If you break the law, there's going to be a consequence. If you run a red light, there's a ticket that you could potentially be receiving because you ran a red light and you got caught. So looking at the circumstance, at what it is, understanding that we are adults, we understand the law, and if we respect authority, that's that kind of, circumstance. We need to be aware of the consequences and act accordingly, right? But if it's something like simply you said the wrong thing, somebody said the wrong thing to you, you really do have the opportunity to just have a moment and ask yourself, is this true? Did I say the wrong thing? Did they say the wrong thing? Sure, great. But am I what they said? Or like, it just always goes back to like you believing your identity. So the foundation of your identity is going to help so much in every single level of everything, right? But man, I think I'm just really excited to bring awareness to the simple, like just bringing mm, bringing a heavy conversation and bringing it into a light of you are not alone and you are not abnormal. You actually are spot on, and there are so many others that feel the same way that you do. And you can get excited to know that you're not alone. And I think that's my heart behind this conversation. But understanding mental health is absolutely, there are so many layers to it. Of course, we're people, we get messy, things get messy when people are involved, even with ourselves, right? But understanding that if we become aware, gosh, awareness, awareness and expectation are your superpowers. Like if you become aware of the, like, you have the power to expect a better outcome, then you, my friend, oh my gosh, imagine what you could do with the awareness of just that. And if you have an expectation of a better outcome, then we can kind of reverse engineer and go, well, what am I inputting to get this outcome? Because if I can give this situation a new input, maybe I'll get a different output and I can expect a better outcome, right? So input, output, expectancy, and we can kind of hack the system, if you will, because if you know what you input gets a certain output. I mean, get excited. You can just get excited. Like if you think a good thought, you'll probably get a good action that gets a good consequence, right? It's something that I teach my children all the time. Think about what you think about, because what you think about, you speak about, and what you speak about, you bring about. And so this amazing conversation could go on and on, but the main thing is the main thing. If you're experiencing mental health issues, it's okay. Like you're not alone. But let's normalize the conversation and let's not make it so heavy so you can get help. Because I do believe in the world today, society has created this shaming, um, like just like this shame condemnation thing. If you say you're thinking a bad thought, or if you thought something that whatever, right? Like you can't even share the thoughts that are going through your mind because you're afraid that people are going to label you crazy or whatever, and that's not good. So let's normalize the conversation. Let's make it normal to have weird thoughts. And if we can disrupt those toxic thoughts and those toxic patterns, then you are going to have new outcomes because you're going to be doing things differently, and your life can change and you can design the life of your dreams because you have become aware that you're normal. You've become aware that you're thinking about something. You're thinking about what you're thinking about. And awareness, remember, awareness and expectation are your superpowers. So write it down, make it plain, think about what you're thinking about, and you're not alone. So, little conversation rant for the day, but I hope this is encouraging and helpful. Love you. See you in the next one.